So I want to talk just a little bit about using mindfulness, and I hope I put these in the order that I wanted to. So now when we go about our day, if we've been sitting, even if we just sit for a minute in the morning and practice this coming back to the present moment and creating space, even if we do that for a minute, we're cultivating the skill and it shows up automatically. But we can have this intention to use it throughout the day. And so throughout the day, at any given point in time, we can just notice our thinking. We can come back to the present moment. And if what we're thinking about is not serving us, or if we're distracted, then we can always refocus on what it is that we want and refocus us on what it is that we can do in the moment. All right. So this is how we start to change our life, right? Is just this presence and this ability to see where we're at with things and to come back to the present moment. So this is some things that I call noticing what we do to ourselves and others. By the way, I was listening to this book right now. It's called This, and I forget what the subtitle is. It is such a good book. This, THIS. Oh my gosh, it's a great book. And he went through this example, and he was like, as I'm sitting out in the sun meditating, like I was this morning, if I'm truly meditating, by the way, I'm not thinking about how wonderful this feels, because that's a thought, right? I should notice that, come back and just feel the sun. But there were some moments I'm just like, man, this is really nice and beautiful. And then there's places where the sun is where people are being exposed to the sun, where it's a danger and a problem to people, like in a drought, or someone, starving or something like that, or has been out in the desert for freaking days with no shelter, right? I mean, it's a great example of how it's our interpretation and conversations to ourselves about what's happening in the moment that dictates whether it's good or bad. And this is just leverage for saying, we have the ability to work on these things. So these are just some concepts that I came up with over the past few days as I was really thinking about this and just getting some chills. The trying not to be whatever it is that we're trying not to be sometimes contributes to the thing that you're trying to avoid, right? If I'm constantly focused on this thing that I am not happy about, then sometimes inadvertently we bring more of it into our life because we have such a focus on it. So if and I'm not saying don't do these things, I'm just saying, just hear me out on this. Like, if I'm always trying to work with my anxiety, that's probably contributing some to my anxiety. Think about that. And if I'm always working on my problems, maybe that's part of my problem, is that my focus is my problems. And I know that there's a balance here, because we have to do some of these things, right? There is such a thing as doing too much deep work, because if you're always doing this deep work, then you're not living life. And I think what I want to say here is the point that I'm trying to make is that there is this aspect of life, and this is the hard thing for us to all to I guess acknowledge and participate in. There's this aspect of life. It is what it is. And then there's this added to it. It's our thinking around it. It's our conversations around it. It's, and this is just the human condition. And it's necessary too, because we have to use our mind, right? But this is, if we really connect with ourselves, this is where a lot of our suffering is. It's just because it's like there's a certain aspect, it is what it is. And then there's the part of it that we add to it. So this is a great quote from St. Paul's epistle to the Romans: "For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this is what I keep doing." Because you keep thinking about this thing that you don't want to do. I don't know if that's useful or not. It was really useful for me as I was thinking through the process, right? I think sometimes we just need to be easy on ourselves, and just kind of live life and accept what is, and not saying don't work with it. I think you understand what I'm saying. I think you can be obsessed with the fixing and the problems and things, and sometimes inadvertently it contributes to what it is that we're trying to avoid.